Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast on the entire internet. Here's your host with the suave, soothing voice, the Artrix. And we got the following co-hosts. We got Xaverius.
Hitler is the best princess.
Well, he sure is. We got Sekele from the Slovakias.
I am still ignored.
Well, until now.
You are from Slovakia.
Yeah, isn't that kind of the status quo of Slovakia? Like, a lot of things go on there that are actually interesting, but the rest of the world's like, okay, that happened.
I mean, look, European Union took Czech Republic, Poland, and Austria to court for not accepting immigrants. They didn't notice Slovakia.
Basically, yes.
And we got ourselves the one and only SanyaWaffles, also known as Waffles, also known as Sanya, except no substitute.
Yes, except no substitute.
Yeah.
I want to add to that, Zav, you take that back. Himmler was the best princess. You take that back, man. Let's throw down hands.
Himmler wasn't he like the dear leader of the DDR, which has a lot of D's in it?
You like these?
I'm sure you like the D. He's sure as hell like.
Himmler was the second in command. One of the second in commands, I think. Was he the leader of the SS?
Wasn't that Goebbels?
Goebbels. Okay.
Goebbels, whatever. The G man.
Was the head of propaganda.
That's certainly true. But I guess that he could be the second in command.
I remember that one of them, when he was doing his hunts for people, was categorically against his huntsmen shooting foxes. He was an alright guy.
I mean, I'm such a terrible Nazi that I don't even know basic facts about the Nazi regime, because I clearly have a lot invested in its political structure and everything.
To be fair, you probably know about as much as a regular neo-Nazi.
Probably, yeah. So.
Neo-Nazis.
But you don't know how to shave properly.
Is it actually a prerequisite? Also, go ahead.
No.
How did neo-Nazis do know at least the basics of their history? You would be surprised.
You would be surprised. Click here now.
No, I am
Number
genuinely surprised, because if they know basics of their history, how the fuck do you have neo-Nazis that are anything but German? Look, you have Slavic neo-Nazis.
Yeah, but
Doesn't make any sense.
neo-Nazis that live in Poland, like the last place on the planet where you want to be a Nazi, as in supporting the Nazi regime, is fucking Poland. It's
I can actually explain this, because I went to secondary school with an actual neo-Nazi who was very talkative.
Is it one of those people? I would totally kill all the Jews, and when I finished it, I'd kill myself.
At least the ones I came across over here in Slovakia, that Hitler was wrong, that the Germans were not the master race. The Slavic people are the real master race.
That makes sense.
Well, that's usually the way things go with neo-Nazis. It's just, you swap, Aryans with whatever race you happen to be.
But Artrix, isn't that cultural appropriation?
That is. So obviously we should now go ahead and ban everything.
Stop appropriating the fucking Nazis. See, this is how it begins. First, you culturally appropriate Nazis, and then you start banning jokes about them.
So, we
did nothing wrong.
So if you want to fight Nazis, you just have to find one particular group of people, or even just one individual that you really don't want to make jokes about, or not jokes to even associate with Nazis. and then will just write itself.
Very interesting.
So what group or person would be so embarrassing for Nazis that they would just be instantly discredited if they are caught being supported by? That would be very awkward if you got a bunch of neo-Nazi Jews that are like, oh yeah, the Nazis killed, our people, but we're actually the master race. So we're going to take...
This, by the way, fits very well because according to old school Judaism, the Jews are in fact the master race.
Well, obviously, it says
God
so in the
chose
Bible.
people. Yeah, the Bible says that the Jews are God's chosen people. And in fact, there are passages in the Old Testament when God orders the Jews to kill all the other races.
But then
It's almost as if like cultural and racial superiority
But then
isn't just
you have
limited to whitey.
at the end of the Old Testament, you have the credits roll, and after the credits roll, then like there's a door and it opens, and guy comes in and he's like, "Hi, I'm Jesus."
Sup, dude? Did I miss anything?
We have a back.
Sup?
What's a bug?
That's not how bug works. I just stealthy.
Oh yes, we were just talking about Jesus because this is a Christian server.
Yes, it is.
We were talking about how all of your people are evil.
That's true, but that's just your nature. You can't help it. It's not your fault that you killed Jews.
Yeah, don't take it personally, back. It's just something you have to...
Also, back on the topic that we were talking about, I think the master race is actually pugs.
Porks?
Pugs.
Oh, pugs. Oh, yeah.
I thought you
Cockroach
were
master
talking about.
race.
I thought you were
Because
talking
you
about
didn't get the
porks.
first joke that I thought about, you know the one that I mentioned.
Well, that's a given. Obviously, pugs are the master race. I mean, that's...
But speaking of porks, you definitely should visit. Porkhub.com.
Did you say pork hub?
I'm pretty... That's an actual site. Like, you can go there and actual things appear. It's not just one of those sites that's sitting on that domain because people misspell Pornhub and they end up on Porg or Pork Hub.
No, I just imagine it's just a bunch of just pig, just literally just around everything non-kosher you could think of.
We are talking about the Star Wars porks, not the pigs.
Yes, I thought you would talk about that.
No, I'm saying there needs to be a pork
How does it feel that Polish neo-Nazis are appropriating Nazi culture?
Less offensive than the American shit.
Well, they should appropriate like Confederate culture.
I mean-
it wasn't really Confederate, but
I mean,
Americans don't really take history as a thing that happened. For them, it's merely a suggestion.
yeah, and the thing with Polish people is more like most likely those neo-Nazis are like located where Germany used to be, so maybe it's like just some blood coming, like just blood calling them and telling them to
Maybe.
go right.
I was just, wondering about why are they Slavic neo-Nazis when, Nazis were kind of like, well, maybe those Slavs, they're just going to work into that and that's going to be it.
Sure,
Actually,
the Germans
a
came...
friend of mine did have a neo-Nazi at school and he was like, yeah, I would totally kill all the Jews and then I would kill myself. He was very committed to the idea, I think.
That reminds me of Dave Chappelle's skit. He was like a white supremacist because he was blind, and everyone, just to make it easier on him, told him he was white. Actually, really funny skit. Go look it up sometime if you...
Damn right. Reminds me of certain people on the internet, but they are not exactly blind.
Speaking of
Okay, I think Sekele wants to bring up a topic.
Yeah.
Or
The
Sanya.
Confederates and the cultural appropriation, you do realize that the KKK appropriated Spanish Catholic culture.
That too. I mean, the religion stuff is for some reason, thing that happens in USA. Like, yes, churches, they are good.
They're also all over the place. There's way too
I mean,
There's way too many fucking churches.
I'm pretty sure that's why Far Cry 5 is about America.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that came out, and apparently it's not anti-white enough, according to some publications.
Yeah, apparently some people got triggered over the fact that one of the good guys is a Republican.
Oh
my
god.
a conservative doing something good? Oh my god. Funky.
Like I just said, history is merely a suggestion. The fact that things
Things like Republicans are people.
No. That's going too far.
What?
Calling conservatives people, pff, come on. It's the current year. Haven't you seen that the random comedian blurting out that phrase?
Every year, without a
John
fault.
Oliver.
Probably. Yeah.
It's highly possible.
Although I think you did not get my joke about the KKK appropriating Spanish Catholics.
It's okay. They didn't get my joke about, jokes about Nazis being banned. Until I mentioned the bugs.
Until the Fire Nation attacked. I forgot to make this joke. Also,
Until the fire bugs attacked.
so for some
Wait,
reason... Oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to honestly get, it's like, the Spanish Catholicism?
Do you know how Spanish Catholic monks dress?
Oh. Please don't tell leftists that. Please don't tell leftists that. They already hate everything enough as it is.
I hate everything enough as it is.
It's the
Of course you're Zav, that's different. You hate everything by default. No one...
Speaking of which, now I want to see a duel between Xaverius and I Hate Everything.
No.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Especially when it comes to the Star Wars movies, because
I used to have duel with him. I don't like his chin.
wait, what? Did he did a face reveal of his chin?
No, but he has that avatar, and I don't like that.
Okay, yes.
So for all intents and purposes.
Also, it probably make
I don't like it, Artrix. I don't like it.
he'd probably make like a 2-hour video, basically telling the internet, stop not liking what I like.
I'm pretty sure I saw the title of the video and I didn't click it purposefully because of that name.
I think I watched or didn't more like listen to like the first 10 minutes of it. I was like, Jesus Christ, for someone who basically names the entire channel I Hate Everything, you're sure droning on about how you don't like that people don't like the thing that you like.
No, that's hating.
Yeah. But that doesn't have any of the wit that his usual video has. I mean, it's obvious. You like the new Star Wars. End of story. No! You guys are objectively wrong. Because I went with my friends and they all liked it. You're just bitter or something. And none of you have any legitimate concerns about the new Star Wars.
Also, I am posting pictures of Spanish monks into the Artrix chat.
Yeah, but look, they are black. It's alright.
Black. It's alright.
Right?
I saw a nice edit of the first Star Wars, of the last Star Wars movies. It was titled, what's its name? Last Jedi, but Rey is not a Mary Sue. It had like 5 minutes.
Ah, there we go. The post has been posted. I can see it now.
So it was all intro and outro.
It was few scenes with Ray, like the one where she pulled some wires out of the Millennium Falcon and fixed everything. Well, in this case it exploded.
Never mind that you and Benjamin Zoda has traversed the entire goddamn galaxy in this thing and know every nook and cranny. But I just waltzed in and I know it better than you. And a few moments later he was killed because who the fuck cares about Han Solo, I guess.
And then they give him his own movie, but it's not him.
Wait, as in it's not Han Solo or it's not Harrison Ford?
Or if it's not Harrison Ford, then it is not Han Solo.
Fair enough.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, but good luck getting a over 70-year-old person to do young person stuff.
Showing up in the new Blade Runner.
Well, then again, it was kind of appropriate to have him in Blade Runner because apparently he was supposed to be an old fuck. And the same can be said about the new Star Wars. And yeah, so that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I haven't actually seen anything past the first new Star Wars movie, which I thought it was alright. But that's the thing, it was alright. It didn't really blow me away. It's the whole the whole Star Wars franchise kind of lost its magic, and I don't think it's bad. It's just kind of.
Last time I enjoyed myself watching Star Wars was in The Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, you actually did say that you like the prequels, which is a fair point.
Basically, I had a very pleasant experience watching them. I actually watched them as they premiered.
That's kind of the thing about the prequels. A lot of people at the time, upon their initial viewing, they really or kind of liked the movie. They definitely had a good time. But only after, processing everything, you start to realize, holy shit, this movie's actually shit. And doesn't do the franchise as a whole much good. So there's a lot of fridge logic going on there, where after the fact, you start to realize, wait, this movie is actually shit. Why did I like this? With the new movies, that happened a lot faster. Like it came out and almost immediately people started to poke holes in it.
Yes,
I feel like they did that because it's something to do with Star Wars. We have to poke holes.
Go ahead, Sekele. I'm sure you want to say something.
I was just going to say that I'm immune to this sort of stuff. I like a movie when I see it, and then I like it no matter what. Or I hate it the moment I see it, and then I just continue hating it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I ever watched a movie that I hated upon my initial viewing and then gradually started to like. There have been movies that I initially liked where after the fact I start to realize, that this movie is actually highly flawed and yeah, not good stuff.
My father always said this thing: there is no such thing as good or bad entertainment. The entertainment you like and entertainment you dislike.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
That's terrible.
Yeah, why would you like entertainment? We should always be completely cynical about every piece of entertainment we ever see, never enjoy anything.
That's what I do.
that's why I guess I've kind of fallen out of this nostalgia critic and the like, because I just get tired of people having to poke holes in everything.
Wait, you're not getting tired of these nostalgia critic because he just gets repetitive and gets boring after a while?
Too. It's just like, I get so tired of just people having this, they have to be critical, you know what I mean? They have to oh my god, I have to point out negative stuff or else I'm not smart. And it's like, you can enjoy stuff. It's not a crime to enjoy stuff. I enjoy bad movies. That's one of the reasons I like Best of the Worst on other media. They're not necessarily poking holes in the movie. They're just having a good time talking about it. They're getting drunk talking about the movies and all that. It's just, they could be the worst movie ever. And sometimes, yeah, they do poke holes in it, but it's limited for like the really crappy movies. You know what I mean? Like this.
To be fair, you need to have a very high IQ to. I mean, the nostalgia critics skits were always based on very exaggerated nitpicking of just about everything. Like
I think the only movie he was truly spot on about was what movie was it? The one with a Troll in Central Park, because that was absolutely garbage. Like I remember watching it as a kid. I was just like, even as a kid, I was like, this is just weird.
That thing ruined Don Blatt's career.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
too.
You definitely might be onto something there. That movie was so fucking weird. I haven't even seen it, but from what I've seen, it was like, what the fuck were you thinking?
I love Don Bluth. I'm like Doug Walker there. I love Don Bluth, but that movie was just Christ almighty horrible.
Hmm?
So it's like, yeah, you can enjoy stuff, but here's the thing though. I couldn't even enjoy it in a like a so bad it's good kind of way when I watched it.
Yeah, that's.
I did try rewatching it again. I couldn't make it through.
That's
so awful it was.
That's usually death sentence for any piece of media where you can't even like it ironically, where it's that
At
bad.
least the prequels I could like ironically. There were certain things about it, and you could take the piss at how Jar Jar was and all that. You know, so even that had some of that. Then I do admit, as much as I hate like these people nitpicking at everything, I did like the Mr. Plinkett reviews because he brings up some very logical points to it. Although I do think him nitpicking the new series, you know, the new trilogy, how many it's going to be, I just think it's just at this point, it's just like he's doing it because he has a reputation, and as a, you know, as who portrays him, Mike Starowska, I think.
But wait a minute, are saying that he's reviewing the new Star Wars movies? Because I actually haven't.
He's reviewed the first one.
Okay, I have to catch up on that because I usually really like Plinkett reviews. But here's the thing about the Plinkett reviews: the way he presents his reviews is really refreshing. I mean, he's obviously a very well-read guy. He obviously knows what he's talking about. You don't have to agree with him, but he's definitely someone who knows a thing or two about filmmaking.
Yeah, like Red Letter Media in general, they're really talented for, you know, they're not exactly what I would call professional 100%, but their cinematography is top notch. Sometimes though they do it bad for ironic purposes. Like there's one Best of the Worst they did just to take the piss at the, you know, at their guests were like CGI people from Canada. They're doing all the special effects. So they have them do like horrible green screen effects and all that shit. You know, but outside of it, they generally do a lot better. I need to watch Space Cop just to see if it's decent. Because I've heard alright things about it. But that's the thing. As you said, the presentation is so much better than just some guy sitting there going, "I remember it, so you don't have to."
Yeah, and he does that. And the sad thing about oh, go ahead. I'll go after you.
No longer does that. He actually now his new reviews are basically like movies. He even has actors in them.
Yes, which I actually think is kind of annoying. I remember his review of The Matrix, or the entire Matrix.
It starts with a funny little skits.
But before you know it, you got an entire
go down the slippery slope. And then you make your own movies that are equally as terrible as the movies that you are criticizing.
Like Kick-Ass, yeah. Actually, I liked Kick-Ass, yeah. It was incredibly campy in a good way. But after that, he made basically a movie where they're all LARPing. And it was just so... Wait, he made a sequel? I mean, I haven't really...
It is a trilogy. It's a
Yes.
thriller.
There's actually something I want to bring up since we're on the subject of Channel Awesome stuff. I heard there's a mass exodus from Channel Awesome happening right now. Mike Stevens and Linkara left.
Well, why would anyone be any kind of sad for Linkara leaving? I mean, I use Linkara.
But I'm just saying that there's like,
Yes.
this is just one of many. This is just one of
Yes.
many past year. And I think Channel Awesome's probably going to fold because they're losing all their talent.
That's because they're running on a outdated business model that I'm actually surprised was profitable to begin with. Because essentially the entire channel or the entire website was based around, well, it's Doc Walker and his Nostalgia Critic skit. I guess we have a bunch of other people, I guess. And then, you know, Doc Walker stopped doing the Nostalgia Critic and viewership plummeted, and then he begrudgingly went back to being the Nostalgia Critic. But I think by then the damage was already done. People just got bored of it.
And a lot of the other talent that, like, the way he treated Phalis and Allison from Alice, I forget her last name.
Nostalgia.
And Obscurus Lupa, respectively.
Obscurus Lupa, I think was kind of bad. Like, I never liked Obscurus Lupa before, but after this, she actually has a lot of sympathy for me. She's actually gotten a lot better, and I also like Phalis. That's the thing, when your other talent's doing a lot better, and I'm focusing more on them, that's a bit bad for your core model. I haven't watched Nostalgia Critic in, like, years. I'm not even joking. It's literally been years.
I remember occasionally checking up on him, and I'm like, okay, that exists, I guess, but the excitement for his reviews is long gone.
Yeah. The last one I was genuinely excited for was his review of the Christmas tree, mainly because I was the one who uploaded it to YouTube, and now it's kind of gone so bad it's good.
Well, he obviously still uploads to YouTube, but
it's a really awful Christmas movie. As I think I mentioned it before on just casual chat.
All I know about him is what Jim told me.
Wait, what Jim?
Well, the Jim.
You mean Mr. Medicare?
Yeah, I mean, internet aristocle, yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, he did an entire goddamn series on Channel Awesome. He spent like 4 videos or something just talking about how Channel Awesome went from, I guess, awesome to just, you know, what it is today. Which isn't all that good.
And all their talents leaving also, from what I hear, is because the CEO, like one of the co-owners and the CEO, Mike McCobb, is kind of an... I've heard that, it's not fair for me to say, without prefacing, this is not my opinion, although it's close to it. A lot of people are criticizing him as one of the reasons we're leaving, including Linkara, Phalis, Obscurus Lupa, and quite a few others. You know, it's just all points to him.
You really have to realize when it comes to Channel Awesome that it really isn't about Doc Walker. I mean, he may be the big star, and he definitely has, you know, big finger in the pie, so to speak. But he's not exactly the one that's calling the shots. I mean, the
other guy.
The site has an owner that's really calling the shots, and he just happens to be their big star. But yeah, it's not exactly like anything bad that goes on with Channel Awesome can be attributed to Doc Walker, because
me and a friend were talking about this the other day. We said that it's unfortunate because Doug Walker is not that bad of a guy. Like, he seems to genuinely care about trying to do the best of what he can, and he doesn't seem to be like a douchebag. He seems to be like a genuine person. But I can't say the same about Mike McCall and I think Rob Walker. I don't know that much about them because I haven't seen that much about them. But from what I've heard, it's not good news.
Yeah, I definitely have no any kind of ill feelings. You know.
Walker, from what what I've seen, Rob Walker is actually a lot like Xaverius over here. He's in charge.
My computer exploded. I log in and I hear you saying my name. What's going on?
We were basically talking about this nostalgia critic and Rob Walker and basically how you are, or how he is pretty much like you, Xaverius. So how does it make you feel? Well,
I need explanation on this.
I don't think you're gonna get one.
And there's a fucking green dot popping up next to the... Oh, it disappeared. That's good, because I was starting to get angry at it. Why is it green? That's not the icon.
Xaverius, stop being so angry. That's bad for your. I don't actually know.
Stop being angry. Stop
No,
being
you.
angry. That's me and Back's
Your
job.
demonstration.
I
And
don't
here
think
is-
Back's job is getting angry. Now explain the...
My job is being the counterbalance to the Dutchness of Artrix.
Sure.
Languages sound the same. Anyway,
They don't.
I need this explanation on the stuff.
You're not gonna get an explanation. I don't think they're.
I don't want to get the explanation. All I want is you saying it. If I get it or not, it's a completely different matter.
Well, go ahead and say it.
Go on, Sekele.
Everyone and everything. Constantly.
What?
I agree.
Yeah.
Everyone on everything. Yes. Because that's what we have.
Also, why are we talking about Channel Awesome? Oh yeah, that was a topic that Sanya specifically brought up.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, yeah,
Another topic I want to bring up, but that was just something that just happened to be happenstance. We're talking about, like, Nostalgia Critic and other internet reviewers.
Hmm. But also, I want to get back to the whole Matrix thing, because that was probably the first review where it was like, okay, Nostalgia Critic, are you just trying to be contrarian here?
Are you a critic or what? Because right now you don't sound like a critic.
Well, he did bring up criticisms. It was just like, how does this, the Matrix is over the top and actually kind of silly when you really think about it. How is that a bad thing?
That's what makes it awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then again, yeah, the way they talked was kind of weird, and it does make for an interesting review, I guess. So
In theory, you could make a good review about it, but when you're just doing it just to be, as you say, contrarian,
Well, I
that's
think
kind of what
I think the weird talking in Matrix is part because it was all translated from Polish.
oh, because the creators are Polish,
Yes.
even though they pretty much lived their whole lives in America and they were probably born in America and
Or
You,
escape
you can stop the Polish ethics.
oh.
But what kind of bothers me is like this is my big problem. Like with anyone from like be it less problematic people like Nostalgia Critic to actually problematic, and I'm using this term unironically. Like Lily Pete is the contrarianness. It's just like you have to be. I have to be against that because I have to, be
I don't.
contrarian, or else I'm just not doing my job. It's like. You can be positive every once in a while. It wouldn't fucking hurt.
Yes, but it's like that episode of Simpsons, where Homer was a food critic. The
And
more outrage he generates, the more people he gets to view the channel. So he can't be nice or agreeable with something. No, you need to go all lies, slander, and basically, as you said, being contrarian, because the more contrarian you are, the more people come. I mean, that's the principle that gaming journalism operates on exclusively these days.
I'm pretty sure there's the critic joke in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with the critic, which
I
is
love the critic.
it was so deliciously self-aware. It was great.
Let's
What
just
are we
not speak of
talking
the web
about?
series.
The animated series, because I'm not even sure if there was a live action series of it.
What are we talking about?
It was just 2 seasons, one on ABC and the other on Fox.
Huh?
Slightly. And then there was a web series, let's not speak
What
of it.
are we talking about?
The critic.
It's
What is that?
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a occupation.
Okay, okay. Imagine yourself in the 90s, okay? So you're
I'm pretty sure I existed in the 90s, so I don't have to imagine myself.
okay. So you're 90 Xaverius. You're walking around with your Walkman as you
That's too
wait,
expensive. I
wait.
can't afford such stuff.
well, imagine that you do. So you walk around with your Walkman
That's
and
what I
your
would do.
CDs and while listening to your mixtape, as you go to see the Independence Day in the cinema and you just got your internet on your 32K modem or whatever.
A mixtape.
Yes, you got a mixtape that you
What kind-
recorded
what
off
kind-
the.
What kind of 90s is this that you don't have Walkmans with CDs in them?
No, actually, you didn't have a Walkman. You had a mini disc player because you're very advanced, and so now you can record music on your mini disc, and you're really one of the cool kids now because you could afford one because they're like
I believe we didn't have many discs, we just had regular CDs. And they were called Discmans.
Actually, mini disc was pretty popular in Europe, opposed to America, where it
Well,
never.
here Artrix, we just had no
Well,
CDs.
yeah, but then again,
and the players were regular CD.
but then again, you know, Czechia was just getting out of the communisms, and
Artrix, I'm pretty sure when it was Czechia, we still had Hitler around.
yeah,
You mean the Czech Republic?
yes, he didn't actually leave. There was like some lag going on, so even though he didn't exist anymore, he was still walking around because lag.
Yeah, he had the Walkman.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ask Argentina about it.
Yeah, he was
How it's pronounced.
he was just chilling in Argentina.
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 Argentina. Oh, ho, ho. Also, yeah, it's confirmed now. They speak French in Argentina.
Obviously.
Like a croissant.
Bonjour, ben je vu et
I think I would rather get annexed by Brazil than to speak French, and that means a lot.
I mean,
Yes.
wouldn't almost anybody.
Yeah.
At this
I
point,
got it.
yes.
Well, do we get Lucios all over the place if we get annexed by
Okay, I changed my opinion.
you definitely don't want to be annexed by Brazil.
Definitely don't want to. Just look, Artrix, everything is going to be rebuilt so it can support roller skates.
Everything is roller skates.
Yeah, you won't have any highways left. It's all roller skate parks.
So you're like, I'm off to work, honey. So you're already on your roller skates. I mean, you sleep with your roller
Yeah,
skates.
exactly.
You go to work on roller skates, and you're on the highway, which is full of people on the roller skates. It's just one big roller skate orgy.
I'm just imagining that in my head. It's just, oh, fuck.
I am too afraid to imagine that.
That's awful. Speaking of awful, I got a subject. That is
God damn it.
Unless someone else has another subject.
No,
Oh yes, there is that thing with Nickelodeon.
it's called the topic.
Oh my god.
Oh, something next list to do with animation and stuff.
Oh,
That's-
I wanted to say something about gaming journalism since we mentioned it.
Doesn't really have to do with an animation, at least not directly.
Okay.
But I mean, not. Okay.
For yet unknown reason, Nickelodeon has cut ties major producers Dan Schneider.
Oh, I for a moment I thought you were going to bring up Dan Savino or whatever his name is.
Schneider. To be exact, Dan Schneider is one of their big head. Well, not necessarily one of the leading guys, but
He's
he
produced a lot of
was
shit for
very
them, right?
influential producer who was basically responsible for 80% of all their live action shows in the past 20 years.
I was almost gonna say, who the fuck cares about the live action stuff, but a lot of people do, considering that they're.
We've done iCarly and some other series, I think.
As said, if you saw anything live action on Nickelodeon in the
He was
past
involved.
past 20 years, there's a chance he was involved in it.
Wait, is that the guy who likes feet too much?
Oh, I heard about that. Someone on YouTube I follow that says that he's a.
That is one of the theories. It was not confirmed, but it's a theory of why he was let go. Is that it's kind of obvious that he had a thing for children feet. Like almost every one of his shows had shots, like focus shots, on the feet of the child actors. Each of the shows had at least one such scene per season. There is a theory that he was let go because he did something inappropriate.
I mean,
I've heard that.
He stole somebody's feet.
If it wasn't just that would be, it would be incredibly creepy. But, since he's not actually doing anything bad to the children, okay, that's just weird.
The reason why I'm bringing him up, the guy, among other things, was extremely anti-animation.
Mm-hmm.
He you know how for the past 20 years, Nickelodeon show did not get SpongeBob level ratings, it got cancelled.
He was probably the
It
reason.
makes sense. Have you seen the kind of feet they draw in animation? That's just not gonna cut it.
They usually don't even have any toes.
Exactly. And it's the real deal.
Especially if we look. Wait a minute.
There were interviews with Nickelodeon animators. Basically said that the guy would often walk through Nickelodeon studios and laugh in the faces of the animators, or tell them that they are a waste of space or other stuff like this.
Such
Jesus
a nice guy.
Wow. I mean,
though he was not one of the head people at Nickelodeon, he was still very influential. And
to
so
be fair, if they weren't employed as animators, he would be right.
And here's the thing, though. So it sounds like for him to get fired with his level of tenure would probably require him to have done something basically really awful.
Told you. He
I
stole
mean, let's
somebody's
just be
feet.
honest here.
nothing was revealed so far about what actually.
I've heard a lot of theories. Someone I follow on YouTube said basically what he did is that he may be a pedophile, and he definitely has a thing for feet, very obvious. But I mean, when you're involving children, that kind of is where I draw, real children. That's where I kind of go,
It was a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. When it comes to drawn stuff, I don't give a shit. But when it's actual children being exploited, that's kind of where I draw the line. That's not cool, man.
Well, you are not a good feminist.
Why? Because I'm not worried about the drawn stuff. The only drawn stuff I'm worried about is the Tumblr style.
First, yes, that's the first reason, because even virtual women lives matter. And the second thing is you are against pedophiles.
Yep, well, I'm against actual pedophiles, not the people who draw Steven Universe.
You should be tolerant.
That's the thing.
Feminists
Feminists are pro pedophilia.
This is actually news to me. Although I've heard some SJW types are pro pedophilia. Not exactly going to point fingers, but let's just say I've seen a lot of people supporting maps on Tumblr. Speaking of Tumblr, I want to get on the subject, but
Yeah, I think you wanted to rant a rave about the Tumblr art style, or at least what is generally considered to, because let's get one thing straight. Tumblr is a place where, especially in this day and age, artists of all walks of life are posting on Tumblr. I mean, Tumblr's got a bad rep for being a cesspool of really fucking batshit crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people post.
The art can exist. Here's the thing: the art can exist on Tumblr, Twitter, whatever. But it's generally called the Tumblr style mainly because
it's
there has to be
that's
kind of where it's really prevalent.
Yeah, it's very prevalent on Tumblr, and that's probably where it's got its name from. And I'm pretty sure
Tumblr knows Tumblr style, SJW art style. It all has the same thing, basically. It's all the same kind of thing. One of the things that bothers me about the Tumblr art style is it just looks ugly. Like, I know art is supposed to be, it could be anything, it may not necessarily be pretty, but it's still art. But the thing is, they're trying to pass it off as like, this ugliness is beautiful.
Depends what kind of Tumblr art style, because you have the one that looks like if somebody just shed on the paper, and then you have the one that looks more like cow art, which is, also shed on paper.
Cow art is a good example. There are six or seven traits that I usually go through when I classify as truly grotesque art style. One, you've got to have arm and leg hair. You got to have no shaving anywhere. Second is sometimes that can also extend to the face. Sometimes. A second thing is red nose and red nose and like the red on the knees and elbows, that kind of thing.
Penny arcade nose.
Third is the more tan, the better. The fourth aspect of the Tumblr art style is scars. Not always, but sometimes. But they really like scars for some reason. But it's weird. The main other trait.
It's making you special and unique.
The main other trait I see
scars,
is
tattoos, pigmentation faults like vitiligo.
Yeah. That skin condition.
That very rare skin condition that every fucking Tumblr OC has.
Yes. That's kind of the other thing. The sixth and other thing is they usually make a character trans for some reason. I mean, I'm not against headcanons, but it's just, it kind of gets boring. It's kind of like the equivalent of every joke on 4chan being about Nazis. It's like, okay, you're making every character trans now, or gay, or bi, or poly, or whatever. It's like, good on you, but it's kind of getting boring. I'm not, and I'm trans, and I don't really care for it.
It's trans Nazis.
I'm
pretty sure that exists.
Yeah.
I
consider SJWs to be a form of white supremacy, just to be honest. But okay, because they basically want everyone who's basically white to stay over there, and everyone who isn't over here.
It's
because black people are very fragile.
You could argue that since they constantly insist, okay, this character needs to be a character of another race because otherwise, whitey. But aren't you implicitly stating that whites are by default better?
Yes,
I will actually.
I mean, look, Artrix, if all the non-white races need help and representation and special programs.
Yeah, that's kind of my big problem with the art style, though, is it's propagating. Well, one idea is you're making. I understand representation matters, but if you're gonna, say, draw this character, it's mainly the fan I have a problem with, not necessarily. People can draw whatever they want. I'm not trying to deter that. But it's just, as for me, it kind of has a personal gripe because, well, one, the Tumblr style is just so grotesque. Like, do you honestly think this is what the ideal, LGBT, non-white person looks like?
Obviously.
What the fuck are you on? This is disgusting. This is not.
The really grotesque part is that everybody's doing it.
That's the other thing. Yes, Xaverius.
Yeah, I'm the other.
This is yes, Xaverius. That's the thing. Every goddamn person's doing this. It's like I get it. It's like I get it, but can you try something different now?
Yeah.
It's been done to death.
You have to realize though that there are quite a few confirmed cases where the artists of such art. The one example is a picture that's floating about where the artist decided to draw the character from Doki Doki Literature Club extremely ugly, as in it wasn't exaggerated or anything, but it had the very typical Tumblr style.
And
They do it on purpose.
It basically fulfilled the entire checklist of what could be construed as typical Tumblr right art. And then
It was subtle. It was very subtle.
yeah, but it turns out that the artist did it completely ironically.
Okay, I heard
It's
that from
almost subtle.
someone on YouTube.
if it was meant seriously, it would not be subtle at all.
Nope.
That was the thing. He did it kind of in a tasteful way. I don't mind all of that if it's subtle and it looks that looked. That picture, even though he did ironically, I actually like that picture because it had a certain charm to it. It looked kind of uniform. It didn't look try hard. It looked, you know what I mean? It looked
It looked like
decent.
someone gave it their best and put their heart and soul into the drawing.
Yes.
Are you saying, Artrix, that these pictures were the artist's own
Yeah.
art style?
The what now?
The pictures, they were drawn
Yes.
in the artist's own art style, that the artist does himself, not being influenced completely by other people.
That's just factually incorrect. Any artist is influenced by the work of the minds that came for them.
Yes, but they are not copying in verbatim like happens in Tumblr. I think that's like the point of this.
Well, that's the thing. There's this hive mind. Well,
Yes, I just continue. You are getting to my point.
Well, yeah, there's a hive mind art style that seems to be prevalent on Tumblr right now, but that can be said about just about anything. I mean, just look back at Cartoon Network in the 90s, where everything was thick outlines. The animators are at the studio like, sir, how should I draw this Dexter? And then Jenny Tartakovsky is like, extra thick!
The Dexter needs to be.
Now I'm just picturing Dexter as like a buff Suki.
Well, actually, in Dexter's ego trip, that's exactly what happened. One of his,
yes, I remember that.
one of his is this future Dexter's is super buff. He was actually quite cool. They managed
I
to.
really like that.
They managed. They managed to take a nerd and actually somewhat plausibly made him like this badass in this post-apocalyptic world, well, without really sacrificing Dexter as a character. That was kind of cool.
He still wanted his laboratory. And he
Yes.
thought it was lost forever and all that.
But he didn't.
And,
Yeah.
He
but my-
would only synthesize protein.
So he was on the protein. But you see, that's the thing. That was the thing was when you've got a lot of artists that draw a similar way. That's not necessarily a.
I don't have any artists. They all escape.
Like the thing is, like you said, like in the night, like Cartoon Network in the '90s, like a lot of animation studios went with like bold lines, like very simple eyes, etc. But sometimes they do that not necessarily because they're making a. They're not doing it because they're making a political statement. Maybe it's because it's cheap, effective way of doing it.
Exactly.
So
The Tumblr art style differs because they are clearly trying to politicize, and they're trying to politicize a lot of characters that
Don't need to be
really-
politicized.
like, just imagine, like, I seen, like, you know Yonder Simulator, you know,
Yeah.
the girl character. I saw a Tumblr art style where they basically, wasn't really even how they drew her, was all the attributes they gave her, like, they listed in the art. It was like, she's poly, she doesn't care for senpai, just total character assassination, basically. And that, to me, was just as bad as if they had drawn her with all the attributes I said before.
So the artist was like, okay, so the objective in the game is to make senpai fall in love with you because you love senpai. So
Throw that out. Throw that out. That does not apply. She's polying for other characters.
But yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, let's scrap that. She's bi now, at the very least. No, scrap that. She's straight up lesbian. Because
She's lesbian poly.
That's just what Tumblr does with everything. They get their heads against. I mean, have you seen Tumblr fandom blogs for Supernatural? Everyone
Oh my
wants to
God.
fuck everyone else, including copies of themselves.
it's like that Bill Nye segment with the ice cream. It's just
I have
one.
a question.
Sure.
From what I've heard, in Yandere Simulator, at least at some point in development, an opportunity to design your senpai, which means you could even choose senpai's gender.
I actually don't remember that. As far as I know, he was always supposed to be a dude.
Did you
I
just
wouldn't
assume
mind
this-
that. I really wouldn't mind that. I'm all for customizing, as long as it doesn't, like sacrifice the story.
What's the story?
I mean, even Doki Doki Literature Club acknowledges that, that the player might be a girl, and they're completely fine with it. I mean, Monica's like, I don't even know if you're a dude or a girl. I don't even fucking care. All I care about is that there is an actual human being interacting with me.
What's this story you talk about? Can you get that in a loot box?
No.
Then I don't care.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can make a
Look,
mod.
Alex, if I can't get it in a loot box, it's not important.
Well, then make
Loot
a
boxes are a fun way to get new stuff.
then make a mod for Doki Doki Literature Club in which you can get new content in loot boxes.
No, I will make a loot box in which you can get the mod.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with
It's the
that.
only fair way.
Good luck with that.
But yeah, just it's just mainly for me. It's like as someone who's just an art. I draw art on occasion. Yeah, I've drawn Ruby, one of the Rubies from Steven Universe Navy, in a slightly different way. You can still tell she's Navy. You could still like I've drawn characters in different outfits and all that, slightly different changes. I've even
Different elephants.
just different, and I'm not trying to say you can't do that. People can draw what they want. They can listen to that and go, "Oh,
I'm pretty
Sonya."
sure some people on Tumblr were very vocal about the fact
Like
that you
Sonya,
can't do that.
like Sonya and Zav and the Artrix and company, they're all wrong. We could draw the Tumblrs, and that's the thing. You can draw whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you, but I have a right to go. That's not my
Tumblr
cup of
minority.
tea. That's not my cup of tea, and the reason why is I think it just makes like trans people look ugly, which is a nasty stereotype because trans people don't necessarily have to look ugly. I'm not, and it feels like that's what they're trying to do is like you have to look ugly or you're not the token, whatever. And that's another thing that just bothers me. It just seems so wrong.
Now I feel kind of bad because my favorite trans character and the only trans character I remember caring about is Colonel Hunter Gather's brothers, who basically is a man's head on a woman's body.
That's exactly how it works. You just find a woman, chop off her head and replace it with yours.
Oh my god.
Well,
Freaking amazing character.
oh, by the way, when something completely different. When is that dude supposed to have his head transplanted?
Not anytime soon, because he was like, you know what, I actually want to live.
I got
Even through his disability,
Yeah.
and I think that the Russian guy moved to China.
he was like
Or some Chinese surgeon took over, I'm not sure.
he was like hold on guys, I want to finish my bucket list. I know this is groundbreaking research, but
He's like, you know what, all this experience I had with this stuff, I think I could help other people deal with this. So he helps other
Why
people.
would you need a head transplant?
And the idea of head transplant moved from the Russia, which is, the Russia, which is known for crazy people, to China, which is known for less crazy people, but also a lot less more obligations.
I don't know. China's full of a lot of crazy people. I mean,
It's because they have no morality, Artrix.
that and they're it's basically it's a country where it's illegal to die.
Yeah,
You're-
look, Artrix, look. It might look crazy to you, but since they have a completely different moral system, it's just logical for them.
For them, yes. They're like, of course it's illegal to die. The government doesn't allow me to die. So yeah,
Just
of
go and
course.
go die.
So of course you're not allowed to. Unless
My question is, do they fine you if you die, or do they just fine your next of kin if you die?
Obviously.
I don't know the details about it. I don't think they actually do much, but technically yes, you need a permit to die.
Wait, hold up. I just had a thought. You could technically die and come back, right? Like your heart stops for a moment.
Yes.
Right? Do they fine you then? Do you you die for a moment?
I would
Pay 20 quid.
I wouldn't put it past them to be
It
like
would be wonderfully consistent.
it's like you died that's against that's
You died. Please don't.
don't
Can you don't?
and then you're like I wasn't planning to. I actually kind of like not being dead.
It's illegal to die in public places.
It's
It's just like littering.
it is illegal to die in glorious People's Republic of China.
Yeah, if you
I
wanna
did-
Die,
I did-
If you wanna die, guys, just go to Tibet. Wait.
I didn't want to die. I wanted to live. Well, you died it anyway. Now you get fine. Oh. I guess I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's illegal. You cannot kill yourself. That's illegal in glorious People's Republic of China. Oh.
Could be worse.
In that case, I won't die. I will only cripple myself to the point where I'm functionally in a permanent coma, but I won't be dead. That's okay. You may do that. Then I won't do it out of spite. and that's how Yu Chan Wong, whatever his name is, decided to die, then come back from the dead, and basically talk the government out of fining him because, well,
Then he exploded.
yeah, then he walked out in he accidentally got an explosion. Actually, that was one of the first topics we discussed on Radio Rothingham. It was, I think it was a factory or something in China that exploded.
We've come full circle, ladies and gents.
Yeah, and
I even remember that I made this really stupid joke of it being a ninja explosion.
yes.
It was so stealthy that
Fine, everyone.
it's like so stealthy that that no one even noticed until now. Anyway, we have about
Artrix.
what?
It's Easter. Agree.
Oh yeah, that's
By the way, it's Easter. Today we celebrate that Jesus died.
that. Oh yeah, that is today. It is Good Friday, and on Good Friday we celebrate that Jesus dead.
Yeah,
Such
it was
a-
good.
It was good that he died, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we are go about the name, by the name, I mean.
Yeah.
I
It is-
don't want to insinuate anything, but it just sounds so.
It is kind of weird that we called Good Friday, even though we Wait, is it legitimately where we celebrate that he was killed, or that he came back from the dead, or is it
I'm pretty
Easter?
sure the idea of Easter is celebrating the fact that he didn't
Oh yeah,
stay
yeah,
there.
because he was dead for 2 days, and then he basically decided what the Chinese dude did. He was like, I'm not gonna be dead anymore.
Exactly. He didn't want to get fined by the Romans.
Yeah,
Artrix, did you know that egg symbolizes rebirth, and
Yeah.
and Jesus got reborn,
Hmm.
which basically means that God is a hen.
well that makes all the sense. I mean, he literally put the seeds of life into the earth, as in he basically just conjured Adam out of into
And
existence.
I'm pretty sure that this answers the question of what was first, egg or a hen. Forever, it was the great cosmic hen.
Actually, the first thing was a rib. Oh no, that came after. Yeah, I guess it's true. Yeah, that it was neither the egg or the chicken. It was just gowed.
Yes, and he's a hen, as I just proved. So
Well, checkmate, atheists. God was a hen, the greatest one of all.
the great cosmic hen.
It explains so many things. I mean, it even explains the Big Ben.
Well,
I
the
haven't-
British just built that one day.
I haven't really rationalized it yet, so I have to bullshit myself out of this one. But he did it. He did the Big Bang.
Big bag.
I was trying to point something out
Well,
He did the big comeback.
then go ahead.
Yeah, point it out.
back when you pointed out that are basically white supremacists. I wanted to point out that we already had this sort of thing back in the 19th century. It was called the white man's burden.
Let me guess. It's basically the notion that it's up to Whitey to more or less just bring civilization to the rest of everything.
Yes. You just reminded me. You know how we mentioned the Congo?
Yes, I think we did so in last episode.
Yeah, apparently still in the 50s,
Huh?
they had a class of the natives who got Europeanized, and they were called Evolves.
They were called what?
Evolves. Well, Evolve. I don't know if you say the S or not at
Like
the end.
the evolved one.
Yes, exactly. It literally means evolved ones. Belgium was the best, I must say.
Also, now that we're talking about Africa, I also learned a little bit about Liberia, which is, and I already knew that Liberia existed. It's essentially like
Vaguely.
it's like a micro United States in the Africa,
The USA decided to make a second USA.
using. It was kind of a clusterfuck. They basically sent freed slaves, which were brought over from Africa. They brought them to Africa to colonize Africa.
Yes.
And-
Look, it just makes perfect sense. You take like third generation slaves who don't even know anything about Africa. And are like, look, it's your country. Go home. Be free.
And then they go there, and the natives of that home are like, "Who the fuck are you?" And they're like,
And-
"We're you!" And they're
they
like,
throw
"No, you're
spears
not."
at them. Yo, nigga, you're not us. and they throw spears at them because that's what they do.
This is literally how PETA works.
Yes. That's an amazing comparison.
PETA? How come?
Well, you know, they have a propensity for breaking into laboratories and releasing all the laboratory animals.
Okay.
Who have no idea how to exist in the wild.
Ah.
Oh, you're talking about the Alf?
Elf.
I kind of zoned out. Yeah, Alf is a animal
I'm pretty sure
liberation
elves
front.
are a thing of myth and World of
No,
Warcraft.
I'm talking about ALF.
The
Animal Liberation
alien.
ALF is a PETA's associated with them, and they're known for terrorizing research laboratories that use animals. But they use animals ethically. Like one of the things that Penn and Teller's bullshit pointed out is, without animal testing, we would not have found a cure, way of maintaining diabetes.
I almost thought you were going to say they found a cure for cancer.
Look, I'm pretty sure you can shorten it by saying that without animal testing, we wouldn't.
They're just basically PETA, and it's just like a Westboro Baptist church. They're just crazy. But the thing is, they're also increasingly relevant.
Also,
all the vegans out there.
Also, I like how in 28 Days Later, it was like, it was one of these organizations. I don't think it was literally PETA, but it was some sort of animal rights activist group that went to laboratory, and they basically released a monkey with super Ebola AIDS cancer that basically infected the entire planet with the zombies. So
I think we're infected by zombies.
so they obviously had good intentions, but you don't release a monkey that's been in a medical facility that might be carrying like AIDS.
Artrix, they are too stupid to understand this, A. And B, maybe they thought that the situation required a large influx of zombies.
What's this? A large population of zombies. A large influx of zombies oh, wait a minute.
Not the zombies!
Not that they sting, Justin. The zombies... Wait, they don't actually sting, they bite. They bite, Justin.
Maybe they sting.
Well, it kind of depends on, the universe. I mean, in the Left 4 Dead universe, you don't even need to be bitten. You just need to be in the proximity of zombies, and you just
need to be.
Yes, you just need to be in the Left 4 28 Days Later. You actually need to be bitten, or more specifically, you need your blood. You need your blood to come in contact with zombie blood.
So,
which
in theory, you could lick the zombie.
Yeah,
if it's plain zombie.
But it's pretty much like AIDS. I think I just confirmed that the way most zombie plagues operate is basically AIDS.
Yes.
Rabies.
So basically don't have sex with zombies. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly, kids. Always. Always have protected sex with zombies.
Yeah, if you're necrophiliac and you absolutely can't help yourself and have sex with a hot zombie chick that's has maggots all over her body and rotting flesh.
I'm pretty sure I read a post on Fortune or Tumblr about this. Not sure which one of
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Actually, all I'm surprised is how graphic it is. How far were they willing to go?
The guy had it all premeditated, including pulling out teeth so he doesn't get infected.
Okay.
Alright, that's a dedication, Artrix.
That is some serious dedication. That you basically go to you very meticulously prepare your zombie for some good old necrophilic action.
Most people, when they think about planning for zombie apocalypse, are like, okay, how do I survive? How do I get enough food to not die of hunger in the first 3 weeks? And this guy's just like, how do I best fuck a zombie?
Because, well, it's actually kind of rational in the sense that, well, you're probably going to die anyway if the entirety of society collapses all around you. Go ahead.
Question anyone should ask in the case of a zombie apocalypse: the virus perish in temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius. Then you have enough food around you.
You just have to cook everything?
Cook the zombies and you won't starve.
Yeah, but then again, it depends on the universe. I mean, I think in the Left 4 Dead universe, it's like pseudo-magical. It isn't even... Well, apparently it is some sort of substance, because apparently in the Left 4 Dead universe, there's this fucked up thing where Zoe kills her own father, and then her father no, it's even worse than that. Their father is like, as he's dying. Actually, it's even worse than that. It gets worse. No, here's the fucked up thing about Zoe and her father and Left 4 Dead. So she was just chilling at home, just watching her horror movies, and then her father gets infected. Actually, her father's bitten by a zombie.
Hey Zoe, I'm a zombie now, okay?
No, actually, that's what her father said. Her dad was like, Zoe, we both watched a metric shit ton of zombies, and you know damn well that I'm going to turn into a zombie now. And you know exactly what you have to do, girl. And I love you, but you have to kill me now. So Zoe's like, okay. And she shoots her dad. So, well, her dad is dead now. Okay, well, but at least Zoe, you know, had the peace of mind knowing that she prevented her dad from becoming a zombie. Well, fast forward like a week or so, and they find themselves in the maximum security military complex, and they're like in this laboratory, and then the professor, and that's how he talks. He's like, Zoe, I have very bad news for you. You see, your father, the virus, you see, it doesn't affect males, or at least, your father didn't carry the virus. He was immune. So
It doesn't affect males, wait, it does.
yeah.
Some other loophole.
Make
your life more horrible.
So long story short, so your father, he was not infected. He was immune, like you. So what I'm saying is, so you didn't actually have to shoot your father. He would have been fine. He probably, would have had some kind of limp since he was bitten in the foot, but yeah, you shooting your father was completely unnecessary. You effectively killed your own father. How does it make you feel? And you can imagine that Zoe felt pretty,
Well, then she puts on her best Valley Girl accent. She's like, oh my god, so unfashionable.
So you're saying that she becomes diva? Oh my god!
All I'm saying is that she did him a favor. Because you will be limping around, being so out. The opposite of in.
Oh yeah. Having a limping dad is so unfashionable. Like
it's so embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. Just imagine that the popular girl walks by and she sees you with your, limping dad. Your dad's not a zombie, but he's limping. So yeah, that's like social suicide. So you might as well kill him, because. Yeah. But yeah, that was actually pretty fucked up plot point in that franchise.
Yay.
Woo. Anyway, we've got about we've got about 10 minutes left until the last episode prior to the big episode 100 ends.
Well, Artrix, have you heard about Paladins? It's a game.
Yeah, I know it exists. It's
Yes, this is good. Well, maybe you heard about the fact that one day, a few weeks after all that, Battlefront bullshit came to be, they decided that it's a very good idea to implement almost the same system as Battlefront has. And then people are like, no, you are retarded. And they kept telling them it for like a month and a half, and they finally recalled it. So, you don't have to...
So Paladins is back to being actual free-to-play, not pay-to-win?
Yes, but it's not back to being not shitty and fucking over people.
How come?
Okay, so they recalled back the fact that you had some cards that you could completely randomly and could buy for real money, and it affected your performance in game. Okay, they got all that out, and the cards are now free before you got them in just for gold. I mean, making them all free wasn't necessary, but they just probably got scared of people raging, so, no grind anymore. Not at all. So now you have gold, And we have even more gold, and like nothing
So-
to spend it on.
So yet one more form of currency to keep in mind, or wait a minute,
No,
gold
no, no, no.
gold is always a part of Paladins,
no,
as far as
no,
I
no.
know.
The extra currency was Essence. They cancelled that when they did the horrible pay-to-win thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so they are back to gold, VIP, and the crystals, which is the money currency. Well, so they stopped touching the gaming parts of the game, and they decided to monetize skins. Guess what? There was a big sale on skins, every kind of skin, except for weapons, I guess. And you could actually buy them with real money.
Hmm?
I mean, crystals that you pumped real money into. And about a month or 2 months after that, they decided that they are going to remove those skins. They knew that they are going to remove them the entire time because you don't plan games 2 weeks in advance. But they didn't tell people and they let them buy it for real money, which is pretty scummy, isn't it? So, yeah, they decided to remove it, and they also decided to remove the mixing of skins because you had a headpiece and you had a body,
Yeah.
so you could combine accessories. You actually had special event skins that were usually only just a head or a weapon. Or
That-
some
that-
special parts,
That's
right?
one thing I noticed about Paladins, where you could basically kind of mishmash your own
Yeah, you
outfit
can't
if you wanted
anymore.
to.
Because
No.
they decided that if they remove it, they're going to improve performance because it doesn't have to load 2 meshes but only one for the unified. Well, yeah, that pissed a lot of people, especially because it just happens that the special heads, from the events, are now uncombinable with anything, and they didn't even bother to put them to skins that actually match them. They just slapped them onto the defaults. So if you were one of those poor idiots who actually forked over money for chests to get this stuff, it's basically useless now for you. If you like combining skins, no, well, shit out of luck. Also, they did an amazing thing with voice packs. They said, what did they say? I would like to be at least paraphrasing. Yes, they said that voice packs are going to be locked to their respective skins. Because if you were like with the, I don't know, what's it? There's a guy, he's a knight, he has a God of War skin as an RS. So if you had that skin and used the Gundam skin voice pack, apparently that would be too confusing for new players because, oh my god, this is not the voice that the champion has, this is very confusing, I don't know what to do. So they decided to lock the voice packs to the skins. Except now you have to buy the voice pack, which contains all the voices, even if you don't have the skin. You have to buy that voice pack for crystals, as
Yes.
in real money. And
Wasn't
it costs 200 of them. Unlocking a champion that just came out costs 300.
yeah? Wasn't it already the case that even the in-game commands, like something like "come over here" or "I need healing,"
Yes.
those are voice lines that you have to unlock, right?
Those voice lines are there in the game.
They
Doing
are in the
voice-
game, but
doing
they're
voices,
not.
and
They're
that's the voice packs I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but-
And
but-
they were viable with gold, and they were in chests. That's
Yeah.
perfectly alright. Now they are only for money currency.
yes.
You might get all of them, but they are for money currency that costs 2/3 of what a new champion would cost if you wanted to buy him with money. And the best part is, if you buy the skin, the quite expensive skin in sometimes, you don't get the voice pack with it. You have to actually buy that other thing. Now that's pretty shitty, but it doesn't stop there. So yeah, as I said, they removed some of the recolors, the base ones. They arbitrarily chose one of them that they didn't remove, and the rest was turned into gold, which resulted in people at this point having like 3 million gold. I mean, I have. And they are still treating 2,000 gold reward from some retarded event quest as some great reward. No, I have millions. I have nothing to spend it on. It doesn't solve anything. And yes, they have an event. It's an event about the local empire sieging a mountain because one of the monks there ascended and became basically a god. They wanted to get him on his side. Yeah, wow. This event, every single propagation material, including the splash loading of the game, has not this event thing on it, they have a skin for the monk on it. The skin that absolutely doesn't isn't related to anything that happens in the event. It's just some random demon skin. But since it's in the new skin system, so they said that if they remove those matchable, mixable heads, they actually can make more interesting skins. Yeah. So except they didn't really. The main excuse was that they could, match. But they had to make skins as in that they would match all the old skins. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't just forbid the mixing on these new skins and just leave the old ones.
Oh yeah, that seems to be a more pragmatic solution to that.
Yeah, well, they wanted to remove the system completely to increase the performance, as they said. But their minimum requirements are a fucking XP and dual core processor.
Yes, I find it hard. I find that a hard pill to swallow. I mean,
at the same time, the game actually runs worse than Warframe, and Warframe, that's a game where you can actually recolor individual parts of your skins.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Yeah,
anyway, yes. So they made this absolutely unrated skin, plastered it over everything. You know how do you get the skin?
How do we get it?
By buying all the skins that are in the event. With real money, obviously.
So the only way to get it is to buy everything.
Yes. The other 3 skins, which is like 900 crystals, I don't know how many is that because I don't have the game on, but let's say we are talking about at least $20. At least.
At least,
yeah.
Yes.
And for that you get the skin. That's all over the place, but it's not actually related to what happens in the event. And the event itself has quests, but the quests just give you some gold, which nobody really needs, and some VIP points, like a incredibly meager amount of VIP points, 500 for one quest. You know how much a average skin from VIP shop costs? 20,000. So this is absolute nothing. This event is a total bullshit. It's not about what happens in the game or what the lore is about. It's just about people forking over money. I don't like it.
I can see why. Doesn't sound fun at all.
By the way, one note: the performance increased, but they decided to fuse those meshes into one, so it loads better. Well, turns out that the bug that caused bots in games to lose their heads because of the individual mesh loading, that bug is still there. So they didn't actually fuse those meshes.
So yeah.
They just lied about everything and decided to get some money out of people. Isn't it beautiful?
Sounds great. I'll go back to playing
by the way,
the Paladins right away.
UK, you can unlock a loading frame, which is a new thing they did. It's like in League of Legends. You have loading frames now around your name. And this the first one, is called Ascension. Because the monk ascended.
Yes.
Except the visuals are fire, which is related to that completely unrelated skin again. So, if you ever needed a proof that it's not about this event, but just about the retarded skin, yeah, this is proof enough. Even call it Ascension and make it not ascended at all in appearance. God.
But yeah, I guess
people are mostly like, yeah, this is okay because it doesn't touch the in-game mechanics. No, fuck it. I wanted to combine stuff. Lots of people, as in players, told me, yeah, but now you can get better skins because they can do better, more graphics.
I would even say that with the combined, with the combined skins where you can mishmash certain elements. There would be more potential for,
Of course, there's more potential
in-game
for
purchases.
I mean,
yes.
Look, that's why people mix it. There were like arguments again from players. It's like, but how many times do you see yourself in the game? Like, it's not about me. It's about showing the other people that I'm different. I'm an individual and I mix this thing as I like it. You look at me, you see what I did. It's not for me to see. If it was just for me to see, I wouldn't bother even getting the skin. And this is the case. Like, okay, well, there's a skin. It's been done by 60 artists who were shut in a room for 17 weeks. And they did nothing but to make this skin 24/7. Well, if I don't like the head, I'm just not going to get the skin because I can mix it with anything.
Yes. But yeah, with the pay to win aspect too, removed, I might actually go back and play some Paladins every now and then.
Just don't get the silly idea of looking different.
Yeah, I don't.
Because
no,
looking different apparently now means having a skin and not being able to change it, and now you look different exactly as all the other people are different.
Also, the thing Paladins got going for it is that you can have your own loadout, which is one of those things that is...
Well, they did keep the loadouts.
Yeah. And now it's not tied to some bullshit, well, you got these random cards and now you're more powerful or whatever.
No, it's not. They removed that shit.
Yes, they removed that.
They returned the old loadout system. Well, they put a bit more points into it, but that's not important.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time, but that good time lasted about 2 weeks. Then they started doing this shit.
Anyway, we've been going on for about 1.5 hours. That means that I'm going to... That's enough hours for the entire planet. It's also the last episode that's in the double digits, so enjoy it while it lasts. Which is not that long. I don't know.
Alex, we could always restart. It would be like I don't know.
Yeah, I could just that could actually be the thing for episode 100. We'll just start with episode 1 again. It's like it's an integer overflow.
No, you need to wait till 255 for that.
Artrix, look, we call them reboots these days. You'll be played by Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be played by Gary Oldman. Who's gonna play Astra?
Astra.
Okay, good.
No, Queen Elizabeth. She's gonna stop being a royal and she's just gonna go and pretend to be Astra. Who's gonna be Penboy?
Who?
Yeah, I know we barely, know he exists, but
He's just gonna be in flashbacks.
I know Oscar Wilde. He's going to be resurrected, and he's going to be Penboy.
Well, to be fair, both Penboy and Oscar Wilde are dead.
Yeah. So they got that in common.
It
There you
actually
go.
makes perfect sense, Artrix.
Yes.
I'm surprised myself. Myself.
And who is going to play back?
Buck. Who is going to play you? Oh, I got it. Dolph Lundgren.
Okay. And who's
That's ideal Buck.
and who is going to play Trigon?
That's a tough one.
Clint Eastwood. He's got.
No,
He's
the
got
actor, I forget his name. Kurt
Tom Cruise.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, because I don't see that. Just associate Trojan with Greedy from.
Okay, yes, you have it. Radio Rothingham, the reboot with Gary Oldman.
Who would
Russell,
reboot
Dolph
me?
Lundgren.
Who would be me in the reboot?
Well, it's gotta be an American, and there's a lot of those. Yeah, why am I being played by an American?
Why are you being played by an American?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Actors.
Okay, well then I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna be played by André van Duin, just because it's gonna be awful.
I forgot who was supposed to play you in the first place.
I was gonna be Ben Affleck.
Oh, that's true. Well, he's Batman.
Well, okay, well I can live with that.
You know, for
actually,
about 20 years, people joked about Ben Affleck being Batman, and then he became Batman.
Also, isn't there like some Czech person that you'd like to play you?
Not really.
Oh, okay. How about Sekele? Who's gonna play Sekele?
Yes.
Is there some some Slovakian celebrity that you want to represent you, Sekele?
Maybe if they dug up Labuda's corpse, but I don't think that would happen.
Oh, I mean, actually talking about corpses, yes, Miloš Kopecki. That would be a brilliant choice.
Those are words I understand.
Thing. Or I could go the diversity route and have Mr. Ibrahim Maiga play me.
I know who I need to be played by.
Anita.
No, even better yet. Jordan Peterson.
Wow, that could be a diversity hire too. He's Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're white. Who cares? I know who will play me.
Oh.
I know definitely who will play me. Because you guys gotta find. Let's see. Because we train. Yeah, I can't have a cis person play me, or else the SCWs will have a hissy. Oh, what? Who's the
Wait,
actress?
do they have a new speak for the dead? Do they have cis washing?
Blair Witch, perhaps?
Blair White, you mean?
Or Blair White? What?
Here's the thing. I don't agree with her on everything, but
I barely fucking know what her stances are, to be honest.
She's a bit more conservative than me, but you know what? Fuck it. Have Miss Blair White, please.
Have you seen her lips?
She has big lips. Does she have small lips or big lips? I forget.
Well, sometimes the lips just look like a set of leeches. I think she's doing too much botox.
No, okay, Miss Blair White. It's either that or shoe on head. I know.
I'm pretty
One of
sure.
the two.
I'm pretty
She's not she's not trans. I don't give a shit. One of those.
We wouldn't be able to keep shoe on her lines for like half a second.
I can be sure on head. Let's see. Got my slipper here, and I'll put it on my head. There we go. I'm sure.
You don't have a bunny.
It's
mandated by law.
I was gonna say I got one right here, but that's not a bunny. That's a fox. So this is the closest thing. I got a.
How can you confuse bunny and a fox?
Well, because it's Nick Wilde, which is the cop buddy of
That's
Judy
not a
Hopps.
fox, that's a fox.
Faux.
That just looks. That doesn't look like a slipper to me. I can't see it.
It's more like a loafer. But yeah.
Does anybody remember my password for Humble Blue Blue?
But
wait, I think I hit it. Yes. I'm pretty sure I tried this combination before. I don't know what happened.
Nick Wilde and his buddy Judy Hopps.
Jodie Foster.
And they go to the Zootopia to solve the mystery of the magical blueberries.
I think Jodie Foster is a good choice for us.
Oh, okay. Not Judge Judy, or is that exactly what you're referring to? Judge. Is this judgmental as Azula? Actually, scrap that. Scrap that. I want Azula. I want Astra to be played by Azula.
Okay.
She's the only one of all. She's the only one of all of us that gets to be played by a fictional character. I can live with that.
Are you implying Ben Affleck isn't fictional?
Yeah, he's
Because
real.
I find it hard to believe.
He's a real boy. Ate my mama. Anyway, so yeah, this is it. It is over. Episode 99. It's the end of the 2-digit episodes of Radio Rothingham, these professional podcasts on the entire internet. I actually don't know when episode 100 is gonna commence. It's just gonna come out sometime in April.
Gary Oldman and Dolph Lundgren. That's why it's going to take so long to come out.
So see you guys for that episode. It's gonna be very special. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. We're not. I don't know.
We're gonna make Radio Rothingham great again.
Yes. With that, I'm ending this episode categorized by don't die in a fire or do
And
I don't know.
practice safe sex with zombies.
Yes. Bye.